Hi everyone, Fly-Thany Kite Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it is time for a review of the new Ameer Vann EP, Emmanuel. This is a new EP from rapper and Texas native Ameer Vann. Once a member of the boy band phenomenon known as Brockhampton, Ameer was ousted from the group last year after some abuse allegations were leveled at him. Vann released a pretty unsatisfactory apology, and Brockhampton released a pretty nondescript explanation of the situation and his departure. Brockhampton member Don McLennan later on social media revealed that Ameer may have had something to do with a friend of his being jumped, something that he goes into lyrical detail about on a song from the group's last full-length album, Ginger, the track Dearly Departed. This whole thing is a great big mess that led to a huge fracture within the group. I would say almost ended them. Certainly it ended the creative streak the group had going up until that point. And despite a bit of bounce back on their last full-length album, Ginger, which I think is their most cohesive full-length record yet, Brockhampton still has a very vocal portion of their fan base that seems angry about Ameer leaving. And maybe with Ameer now being back, putting out his own stuff, those people will now have a sense of closure. They'll have the ability to listen to his music and get that fill that they desire from that. And even though the demand for Ameer to be back in music has been loud and has been very present and constant ever since his departure from Brockhampton, maybe his comeback was inevitable. Maybe it was only a matter of time. Not sure if the plan was ever for him to disappear from music completely, given that when he reappears, he has a billboard, as well as production from Hit Boy and Cool and Dre, with some pretty spendy and cleared samples. This thing is not just some random indie hip-hop project from a guy who's been abandoned by and blackballed in the industry. Because apparently the distributor for Ameer's WINSTON Wolf label that this EP is on is The Orchard, and even though I don't begrudge Ameer his right and ability to come out with his own music and tell things from his own point of view, this whole situation just feels like the industry trying to make a profit off of both sides of this very dramatic situation. Now, on this very short EP, which is like 15 minutes long, Ameer does kick up some dust about everything that has transpired over the past year. But lyrically and narratively, I would say even musically, he doesn't give us a whole lot to chew over. Throughout this thing, Ameer comes off as very petty, very bitter, without even a lick of regret on anything that he may have responsibility for. And not to say that Ameer should be automatically understood as guilty of anything he's accused of, but he doesn't really take the time on this EP to make the case for himself or prove otherwise. Instead, he's dropping bars on this thing about losing friends and finding it hard to say sorry. But I guess with whatever he's saying, he's doing it in his usual Ameer flow. I guess you could say Ameer does take some responsibility in acknowledging that his hard upbringing makes it difficult for him to fly right and make the best decisions. I get that we're all products of our environment, but Ameer is clearly self-aware enough to put himself in the right direction if he wanted to. He doesn't need to accept his bad behavior as fate or use suicide as an answer to the problems he creates. As far as drama on this EP goes, the song Los Angeles is even juicier, making claims that Brockhampton are greedily profiting off of his name by mentioning the situation that came about in their songs, as if acknowledging this thing that shocked the group, shocked their fans, and still dogs them to this day is some sort of moral injustice. I mean, the rapping on this track is impassioned. Ameer clearly feels this way legitimately, and it features one of the best beats on the entire EP, but what a pity party. Why would I want to sit here and be voluntarily gaslit? Finally, on the song Sunday Night, there's another handful of bars that are very clearly connected to this situation. I do shit that they wish they could. People supposed to stick up for their family, but we see they don't. I got all that gutter and that meaning that they fiending for. So again, Ameer's not being stuck up for or protected. He has a special something that nobody else in the group has and that they need. This is essentially the narrative that his most hardcore fans that are angry he's out of the group now have been spinning over the past year. If I wanted to be told this, I would just go to the Brockhampton subreddit. And also, does this EP have that gutter that we are fiending for? I mean, as far as the lyrics go and the music, there is some gun talk, some drug talk, some traumatic experiences brought up that have obviously shaped Ameer to be who he is today. But this thing is far from the nastiest EP of hardcore hip-hop I've heard. Ameer is still a unique voice though, with a style that sticks out even when he's not at his best lyrically. I'm sure that'll be enough to draw some fans in, but there is an overt lack of attention paid to the choruses on this thing, many of which are incredibly subpar or just not there. And the instrumentals leave a lot to be desired too. Not that I expected Ameer to hop on all these bouncy Brockhampton-esque bangers, but one beat after another is just bland trap instrumentals. The outro track does absolutely nothing, no point to it even being on this thing. And Pop Trunk is maybe the most painfully generic track on the entire record, not to mention just, again, the chorus, not that good. I think the one true standout on the entire project, lyrically, instrumentally, musically, has to be the song GLOCK 19. I love the eerie chimey synths in the background. I love that Ameer changes his flow up a bit on this one. The rumbling bass, the haunting little vocal samples laced into the instrumental are operatic. Intense delivery from Ameer on this track, killer chorus. I think Ameer is a talented artist, no doubt, and a track like this proves that. But if he's going to push forward and be successful, he's gonna need to get over himself and the situation and just put out more tracks like this. And even if Ameer does that, I still worry, because in the best case scenario, I feel like he's going to hit a point where he still is a bit one-dimensional, because his style, his sound, the topics he usually approaches don't tend to be that varied. Maybe we will see an evolution from him in the future where he is changing things up and he is taking risks and he is getting outside of his comfort zone. I welcome that. I guess we'll see that change when he makes his next move on maybe a longer, more robust project. I'm feeling a light to decent 4 on this one. Transition, have you given this EP a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Emmanuel, forever.